Yeah, see what I did there? Hey, what's going on everyone? Greg here, and Apple announced the Apple Watch Series 5 at their event on Tuesday, and actually in a bit of an unprecedented move, Apple is actually letting you pre-order the Series 5 right after that event. So if you are watching this video, the Series 5 is now available to order, and it's going to be shipping out on September 20th. So I know a lot of people are interested in the new Apple Watches, and I know a lot of people like to order them before reviews come out. So in this video, I'm going to try my best to give you a breakdown of the Series 5 Apple Watch, what's new in it, maybe if you should order it, maybe if you should skip it, and maybe some other alternatives that you should consider. And also a few other changes about the Series 5 Apple Watch that Apple neglected to tell us in their keynote. Now, before you do pre-order that Apple Watch Series 5, I think there's something you need to be made aware of, and that is the brand new Apple Watch Studio. The Apple Watch Studio actually changes the way we buy an Apple Watch. This is a totally new experience to the way you order an Apple Watch, and now you can customize these watches kind of any way you want with different case combinations and different band combinations. Previously, you were limited to only a few default band options when purchasing an Apple Watch. So now you can choose which specific Apple Watch band you want with your order. So say you wanted to purchase an Apple Watch, you already have a sport band, and even if you wanted to order the aluminum model, you can still order something like a leather loop to go alongside of it. This is a pretty good upgrade to the way that you purchase an Apple Watch. This way you can ensure that you get the exact band you want, and now you don't have to spend extra money once you receive your Apple Watch. Now, there's only one other way I can think to improve this process is to let us purchase an Apple Watch without a band. I know I personally have a lot of bands from previous Apple Watches, so I kind of don't need any new ones. And if I could get a price reduction just by ordering the Apple Watch without a band, I think that would be great. But I guess Apple doesn't want customers accidentally ordering an Apple Watch and then not having a band to go along with it. That would kind of be on Apple-like. I would also like to note that Apple has reduced the prices of the Milanese loop and the leather loop. Previously, they were $150. Apple has dropped that down to just $99 for each of those bands. All right, let's focus more on the Apple Watch Series 5 and some of the improvements we can expect with this brand new generation of Apple Watch. So last year with the Apple Watch Series 4, we got a big upgrade in the design department with a reduced bezel going around the Apple Watch screen. For the Series 5, it is keeping the same exact design as the Series 4, and I think that's pretty much expected at this point when Apple does a new design. It is very rare that they would follow it up with a brand new design the next year. It also comes at the same starting price, $400 for the Series 5 aluminum at 40 millimeters and $500 for the cellular version. Now, even though it is the same design, there are some changes to the case material and some new case options for the Series 5 Apple Watch that weren't available on the Series 4. The first change is that this year's Apple Watch is made from 100% recycled aluminum. The bigger changes is that the Series 5 comes in 3 new casings for the Apple Watch Edition. The first is a titanium option in either a regular titanium or a black titanium. Apple is saying the titanium version is 45% lighter than the stainless steel and has twice the strength. It uses a brush finish that is resistant to stains and fingerprints. This year we also see a return to the Series 5 having a white ceramic version. This was previously available on the Series 2 and Series 3 Apple Watches. Wasn't available on the Series 4, but now Apple has decided to bring this casing option back for the Series 5. As for the price, the titanium version starts at $800 for the 40 millimeter and $50 extra for the 44 millimeter. The ceramic starts at a hefty $1,299 for the 40 millimeter and $1,349 for the 44 millimeter. One interesting thing about the titanium and ceramic models is that they come with an extra sport band inside of the box. So even if you customize this out in the Apple Watch Studio, you are also getting an extra band. The titanium comes with a light or dark gray sport band depending on the shade of titanium you get, and the ceramic comes with a soft white sport band. I know the ceramic one comes with a custom pin, so that part of the sport band where you clip here will be ceramic. I am not sure if the titanium versions come with a matching titanium pin, but I assume that they would be, considering that Apple is specially bundling these bands inside of the box. Okay, so besides those new casing options, the Series 5 looks exactly like the Series 4. What exactly is new here. I would say the biggest new feature on the Series 5 is the new always-on display. Apple says it is using an LTPO display, which is some sort of low-powered display technology where the Apple Watch will vary its refresh rate, so when the screen is in that always-on mode, it will only be refreshing at 1 Hertz. Basically, all we need to know is that this always-on display will use a lower refresh rate, and that should save on battery life. Apple is claiming that the Series 5, with its always-on display, will still get the same exact battery life as the Apple Watch Series 4. In the always-on display mode, you can still see your time and complications, but the screen does get dimmer than it normally would if you were to raise your wrist. The always-on display also works for the workout modes on the Series 5, so you can continue to see your workout progress. This is by far the biggest and most groundbreaking update for the Series 5 Apple Watch, and I say this because ever since the first Apple Watch was released, it hasn't had an always-on display, and that is probably one of the most requested features. And this thing kind of came out of nowhere. No one was expecting Apple to adopt an always-on display this year, but now it is finally here, and I would say that this is the biggest upgrade to the Series 5. And that's also because the other updates to this watch are very minimal. The other updates include the addition of a compass, so I guess now if you're wearing the Apple Watch and you're lost in the wilderness and you need to know which way is north, you will have that feature available on your Apple Watch. To be honest, I didn't even know the Apple Watch before this didn't have a compass, but I guess it is handy to have. Another new feature is that when you're using the emergency SOS services, the Apple Watch Series 5 will be able to make international emergency SOSs. So if you're in another country, you're traveling, you have some sort of accident and you need help, all you have to do is hold the side button on your Apple Watch, and then you will be connected with emergency services in that specific country. And those were the main highlights to the Apple Watch Series 5 that Apple mentioned on stage. Now, there were some hidden updates that Apple didn't mention in their keynote. The first being is that the Apple Watch is getting a new S5 chip. Previously, the Series 4 Apple Watch used the S4 chip, and Apple didn't mention the S5 chip on stage at all. But looking in the documentation, the Apple Watch Series 5 does come with an upgraded chip. Now, even though it comes with an upgraded chip, it doesn't look like it's getting any increased performance. It is still touting that it is double the speed of the Apple Watch Series 3 and with no comparisons to the Apple Watch Series 4. I would suspect this is a new chip technically because the Apple Watch is a system on a package, so anything they add to that chip, even if it's not a performance upgrade, say like the compass feature needed something to change in that chip, would technically be an upgrade. So yes, even though Apple is calling this an S5 chip, I don't think we can expect any sort of processor upgrade performance, but that is something I will have to wait for my full review to let you know if there is indeed any upgrade to the performance on the Series 5. Another thing Apple neglected to tell us is that the Series 5 is also getting a storage upgrade. So the Series 4 had 16 gigabytes of onboard storage. With the Series 5, it looks like we're getting 32 gigabytes of onboard storage, so that's double the storage, and that is going to be great for people who want to load up their Apple Watch with local music, and also using some of the new features in watchOS 6, so now you can load audiobooks onto your Apple Watch. Those take up a lot of space, so it makes sense that Apple is upgrading the storage here. And one other feature that isn't necessarily exclusive to the Apple Watch Series 5, you can also get it on the Series 4 with the new watchOS 6, is the Meridian watch. This wasn't shown off before in watchOS 6, but this is a new watch face that has 4 round super complications in the middle. And those are all the major upgrades from the Series 4 to the Series 5 Apple Watch. Honestly, it is a pretty moderate update, with the biggest groundbreaking feature being that always on display. Okay, so the Apple Watch Series 5, you're probably watching this video to find out if you should consider buying it or if you should consider upgrading from a previous version of the Apple Watch. Well, I would say that if you don't have an Apple Watch yet, even though the upgrade is modest, I think the always on display is going to be a really desirable feature for a lot of users out there. There's so many times throughout the day where I glance down at my watch to see the time and I'm just greeted by a blank black screen. I could even see a lot of Series 4 owners who want that always on display feature upgrading to the Series 5 just for that one little feature. But I would probably advise most users of the Series 4 Apple Watch to skip the upgrade to the Series 5. It doesn't look like there's that many new features for this watch besides the always-on display. Again, if you really want that feature, if not having an always-on display bothers you, I know it does bother me, then I guess yes, you could upgrade to it. But if you're expecting any other new groundbreaking features that you must have a Series 5 Apple Watch, well, they aren't here this year. With that being said, if you have a Series 3 or older, I definitely think this is a worthy upgrade to your Apple Watch. You have some new features with that always-on display. You have that great design of the Series 4 coming over to the Series 5. And it also retains the same price point as the previous Series 4 model. So yeah, if you have an older Apple Watch and you want an upgrade, the Series 5 is definitely worth considering. As for what casing finish you should get, well, that's personally up to you. There's so many different watches to suit your different styles, but I've always personally used the aluminum watches. The biggest difference besides looks is the glass screen compared to the sapphire screen on the higher end watches. Yes, the glass can get little hairline scratches, but it's nothing major and you really have to look for them to actually view them, and if the display's on, you can't even see them. If you really don't want any sort of scratches on the screen or you just want a fancier design, then go with the stainless steel, titanium, and I guess if you have a lot of money, that ceramic model does look nice. But honestly, it's just a personal preference thing. Personally, for me, I will be getting the regular titanium version this year. Normally, I would go with the aluminum watches, but considering the Series 5 isn't that big of an upgrade, I want to review that new casing material so I can give you as much information as possible to the new changes with that titanium finish. Now, before we conclude this video, I would also like to mention that the Apple Watch Series 3 is something you should also consider if you are a first-time Apple Watch buyer, and that is because Apple has dropped the price of the Series 3 to only $199. That is a very attractive price point for almost anyone. So if you've never experienced an Apple Watch, if you don't care about the fancy new design of the Series 4 and the Series 5, the Apple Watch Series 3 is still a great watch if you want to track your activity. If you just want to experience an Apple Watch for the first time, that is definitely something you should strongly consider at only $199. Especially considering that you're also going to be getting a lot of new features with watchOS 6 on the Apple Watch Series 3 and also the Apple Watch Series 4. But anyway, that's what I think. Hopefully this video helped you out if you are in the market for an Apple Watch Series 5 or the Apple Watch Series 3. And if it did help you out, be sure to give me a like. If you want to see more from my channel, make sure you're subscribed. If you want to support the channel out in any way, make sure you check out some of the links in the description. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.